being behind the camera. Do you know that people love being in front of the camera? Black people, that's who I'm talking about. They love it. They love being in front of the camera. Look at me. I'm in front of the camera. That was a double, you feel me? Because I'm literally in front of the camera, but I'm literally black as well. And I mean, if you don't get it, you don't get it. But look at me, I'm in front of the camera. Now, what I want to do is I want to take my time, do it right. You can do it, baby. Do it too. Whenever the fuck you watching it, right? Take your time. So let's get it. First, let's talk about media in America. Now, as we talk about media in America, we're going to go into the beginnings, the originals, right? Media in America, also known as propaganda. This, hey, what's good? You're from India. Okay, okay. Now, India, great place, right? But with colonialization, right? People were influenced by propaganda, like the media. Can you pronounce my name? Vayabihad or Vabhav. I don't know. One of them's right. I play the flute. Okay, that's what's up. I mean, why not? But like I was saying, India is one of those places that has being influenced by colonials, right? And then they broke it up with Pakistan and India. One country before, and then all of a sudden, oh, okay, cool. So I did get it right. I got the name right with Vabhav. It's a tough one for me. The thing about media is the influential nature of it, right? Because it attacks you on multiple senses. So you only have a few senses, right? You can smell, you can taste, you can feel. But with media, you can see and you can hear. When you see and hear it, it tricks the brain almost. When you see some food, you can almost taste it. Like, what is going on? I'm almost tasting this shit. I'm almost smelling the food, right? I'm almost feeling the fire, right? When you talk about movies, hearing the music, I feel the emotion. I feel the anticipation, what's going to happen. I'm on edge of my seat, right? But none of that shit real, right? None of it is real. But now, as we go into it, and hey, you come in, you want to say something to me? I'm reading these chats all day. You can always hit that like, subscribe. Just want to throw that out there as well. So the beginning of media propaganda was early. You know what I mean? When you talk about leaflets, even like when you go into political advertisements, right? All of this is propaganda. You know, they talk about smear campaigns and all of the above, right? Now, when we talk about black people in America, and the media that was put on it, the propaganda, we talking about blackface and dehumanization, right? So these two big things were media in America when it comes to black people. So you had blackface, which motherfuckers used to put on shoe polish on their faces. Crazy. You putting shoe polish on your face? What are you doing? Like, what are you doing? And when you put shoe polish on your face and then you act in a certain way, you behave in a certain manner that would demean, demoralize, and really bring up worse characteristics than actual existence, right? Vabid Kai Karen, oh yeah, that's what's up. I do listen to a lot of music, and somebody who has really got into flute playing recently, or you would say woodwinds, is my guy Andre 3000. So Andre 3000 has really brought in woodwinds and that woodwind sound into my verse. You know what I mean? As far as listening to and appreciating these woodwind instruments, even though I grew up playing the saxophone. But when it comes to like clarinets, oboes, flutes, even the recorder, right, and all its many variations, I really didn't listen to it that much. But definitely it is something to be heard, right? So I definitely appreciate all musical sounds. Now, if you're here with me, rock out with me, hit that like, subscribe, so we can come back and rock out again next time. So I might be doing these live on the weekend, or maybe maybe every other day. I don't know if I'm doing it every day, because I need to be more consistent in life. So it's just something I don't have right now, but I'm getting better at it. So let's go back to the propaganda media and what do you do, sir? I do a lot. I do right now driving, do YouTube, I do tree trimming, lawn care, Reiki cleaning, counseling, so on and so forth. So, it is a bag, but you do what you can. Now, I am going to get back to where we left off with media propaganda in America. When it comes to propaganda and talking about this blackface was never meant to shed light on humanizing black people, right? Not in America. It's like my guys from India right now. So there are different caste systems in India, I was told, right? Now, the caste system in India if somebody is of a higher caste, they're not going to then talk about the other caste, a lower caste, in the best light. They're not going to say, hey, um, you know, I'm in the religious caste or the, intelligent medical caste or whatever. When you're just in a working caste, they're not going to say, oh, working castes are some of the best castes, some of the best, kindest people. They help, this great country of ours thrive by doing, textiles and labor work. They're going to say anybody can do the textile and labor work. These people from this caste are not to be glorified. They don't have the intelligence, they don't have the anointing to really elevate. Andrea Rivas, how you doing? um, so, hey, make me a mod. All right, bet. Let's see, add as moderator. All right, so you're a moderator now. So anyway, and what's good with you, James? We're talking about being behind the camera, but first we got to talk about what's in front of the camera, and we going into the history of being in front of the camera. How did we get to this point mentally, and to a point where it's, look at me, I want to be seen on TV. And we talking about blackface and propaganda. Because what's good, bro? What's up with a mod? Pardon? Pardon? what mods? But don't give them no mods, right? We got a couple wrenches in the stream, people I can trust with my life, right? So anyway, the the propaganda of blackface really was to dehumanize, to ridicule, to make mockery of black people in America, right? So this is the propaganda of blackface. That's why it's so such a bad thing, because when you try to, and I copy that though, James, definitely. When I see Mongo again, I'm gonna definitely add him on. When we see the tricks of the trade, how the television or movies, back in the day it was just movies, can be used to teach. It's not just a entertainment aspect of it, but it's a teaching aspect of it, because they know that your brain waves go into a certain was it beta wave or theta wave, that now you're more influential, influenceable, more putty, and they could take advantage of that. So they put this in there, put this in the ether, put it into your brain. So now it's like, oh, these people are feeble-minded. They can use words like feeble-minded to do all type of horrendous things, like cut out your ovaries if you're a woman, and say you're feeble-minded, you shouldn't have babies. And this is called the what was it called? Not genetics. I can't think of it right now, It was, if you remember it, it's, hmm, I'll move on because right now I'm not able to think of the actual word of it. But what it was basically is saying that only certain people should be able to breathe. Certain people should be able to pass down DNA based on um, chosen characteristic types. So if you had this and you were this, then you breed. But if not, if you had some kind of um, deformity, whether real or imagined, we would stop that process from ever happening again after your first one, right? So, um, eugenics, thank you so much, sir, is indeed eugenics. So, um, when they when when they put the propaganda into the ether, right, and they saying, hey, these people are feeble-minded. Look at how buffoonish they are. Look at how they don't have the wherewithal, and they are crazed over watermelon chicken and white bitches. Then we gotta do something, and that's the eugenics. So being in front of the camera is something that we didn't do originally. We weren't in front of the camera. We were um, basically humiliated to the camera, or we were seeing a spectacle. You know what I mean? So even though we personally wasn't on camera, it was a depiction of us in the worst light, right? It was, a fabrication of who we are, and this is what is known as, you know what I mean, the minstrel shows. So the minstrel shows were American entertainment of black people with no black people. So this is, I'm black, I'm in front of the people, I'm in front of the camera, but I'm not really black. I'm actually white with shoe polish on my face. And so this right here is psychologically saying, I'm black, I'm in front of the TV. My place is in front of TV. Now, nowadays we have this new saying talking about what is this? What do they call it? They call it something like black tolerance. I don't know what is it called. They're saying that they're tired of seeing so many black people on TV, or seeing so much hood shit black people do. Um, they're exhausted by it. I forget. Black fatigue. Thank you again, sir. Black fatigue is what they're saying now. Mind you, the creation of black people in front of the camera is something that they orchestrated, right? So they said, let me present black people, whether real or imagined, and in front for entertainment. So much so that America's entertainment is blackface. You know what I mean? Like, even though, you have these Hollywood superstars, that Brad Pitt, Johnny Depp, all of these people right here. But when a nigga eat a bite of chicken and say, oh my God, that is going to reverberate in America so much harder. Social media has shown that it is blackface, right? It is black people in front of a camera because America wants to see that. Because America has instilled in itself that we want to see blackface. We have always had an interest in black people and black faces, right? So the minstrel shows, they started it. Then it was all right. Well, I can do a little singing and dancing, so I can just do blackface and do singing and dancing. I can do blackface and some shenanigans, what have you. So then you pick it up a little bit. Now you have black people getting paid to do the same thing with their actual faces, right? So some people, they were light skinned, they had to put on shoe polish as well, but for the most part, it was actual black people. Um, and then you had people that made millions, like Stepin Fetchit, millionaire by doing the stereotypical, well, not even stereotypical, this is the thing. The he was the idea of black people's and white people's mind, right? So he did the thing that is assumed in white Americans' mind at the time. So it's just like, all right, well, black people are unintelligent, right? So he has to play this role, and he has to follow this, you know, stream of consciousness. So it's like, even though um, you're not actually like this, because you're reading from a script and you are acting in a way that is accepted by your director, right? They don't just turn on the camera and say, "All right, go and do some shit, nigga. We just gonna be behind the camera looking." So now, we roll the ball and say, "Oh, you can make millions being ignorant, right?" I should have never gave you niggas money. Anyway, with the with that on the stack, we see some more people saying, "All right, this is how we get money. This is what we got to do. X, Y, Z. I can do it better than him. I can do it better than him," because obviously black people had a lack of resources. So, hey man, if I can get this money out here by doing that, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be in front of the camera. And years pass, and that's what we thought we were doing, being in front of the camera. Now, let's talk about today. I had to lay the groundwork first. Today, we got niggas still want to be in front of the camera. How you gonna go mention the people who control Hollywood? All right, Kanye West. All right, ye. So, the people that control Hollywood, yes, they were the financiers of the propaganda. They made the scripts. They were putting out, you know, what it is. Now, in essence, some of it was, we know our audience, so we know what they're going to want. And then some of it was, we know what we have to do, because this is the propaganda that we have to push to the masses. So regardless if it was just a dance number or a character that was a caricature of a buffoon. So yeah, these people in Hollywood played a major part in promoting a person that didn't exist in the minds, and seeding that into the minds of white Americans, and then, you know, globally. So We'll move up a little few years, and some people started to catch on, like, all right, we got to make our own films. Spike Lee, right? And he was making films, definitely empowering, showing a full range of the black experience and the black person as a whole, showing like, all right, you not only can be revolutionary, but you can just be a crazy young teenager trying to get this pussy, right? I pass the pussy. I pass the pussy. I say, what you gotta do? You gotta pass the pussy. So he showed the range, the spectrum of black Americans at the time, and people followed in his footsteps as far as breaking through and getting that director as well. But now we're living in a time that it seems like everybody wants to be in front of the camera if they black. Now, I'm in front of the camera and I'm black. I've said this already. But I'm not a hypocrite. I am not a hypocrite, right? I'm a hypocrite. Not a hypocrite, but a hypocrite. I hip hop that shit. Anyway, with everybody in front of the camera, when you see the progression of the black people in front of the camera, as they progress, as they get bigger, more recognizable, bigger infrastructure, you'll see that they might have had a standalone camera at first, because I'm holding this in my hand, but then the hand changes, but then the color of the hand changes with it. As they ascend, they become part of a team, a machine that puts out content, puts out information. You know what I mean? Like if you say Kai Cenat as an example, if you say Shannon Sharp as an example, who else? Those guys on, the Pivot or whatever. As you get more recognizable, larger audience, the people behind the camera change. And that's what we got to deal with today, because it's like you want to be in front of the camera, but it's so many other jobs behind the camera. Being in front of the camera is like getting in the NBA. It's like getting in the NFL. It ain't gonna be everybody in front of the camera, but it can be so many other jobs behind the camera. So what do you have behind the camera? You have the actual cameraman. You have the boomstick man for sound, lighting. You have that person. You have the stage director. You have the makeup. You have the caterer. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about LeBron James and Maverick made millions off of LeBron James. And LeBron James made billions off of Maverick. So it's when you see that, all right, you can be on TV, you can be on the camera, but I can be in a position to help you behind the camera, and we can have a relationship that's beneficial for both of us, because we both getting money and we both making things happen. So no more boom camera or lighting. It's all automated. I was on the news a few weeks ago. All the cameras are robots. It's crazy. I can believe that. I can believe that. I can believe somebody is having like, what is it, Johnny Five? They can have a Johnny Five rolling around in front of him, like, doing that whole thing. And I know they already have the swivel to find the face camera stand that you could have on there and get into with the that picks up your sound of your voice and stuff like that. So I can believe it. I can believe that these people have made it so that it does look like Johnny Five, kind of. Right. I can believe the technology is getting there, because what happens is technology is getting to a place where it's cropping us out the picture, right? Before we needed humans. No more we're going to need that many humans. We're going to need people that know how to repair the robots, and then we're going to need people that knows how to shut the fuck up and sit back. Right? like there is no more human resource. There is a abundance of humans. I was just had an Indian guy in here, and billion people in India, billion people in China, right? They talk about overpopulation. They talk about lack of resources. And when people start talking about lack of resources, they really saying is you're encroaching on my survival. So when you start encroaching on somebody's survival, you'll start seeing what happens when people need to survive. And you will start seeing, because you're not talking about survival in your generation, you're talking about generational survival. You made all this money so your kids can eat good and live good. So you look at their survival. How are they going to survive if in a few generations it's going to be, astronomical as far as the population boom? So you do things to preemptively to make sure that some of those things don't come to pass. But at the same time, like these jobs, all of these jobs that were just lost, they're gonna be automated. I mean, I'm driving a truck. This shit gonna be automated. Everything is going to be, AI is going to take over everything that it can. So when we talk about being behind the camera, think about all the trades. People are still making money in trades. Plumbers, electricians, carpenters, they making money hand over fist. Like, it's, when you see how much more money they're making now, you go, damn, I didn't know that was going to be such a lucrative opportunity. And that's people that actually work a 9 to 5 for a company. When you talk about having your own company, being your own boss, and then how much money you can make, what? Houston, we got a problem. Right? They got too much money. They're blasting off, right? So there is only so many people with the attention span of man that can be in front of the camera at one time, right? You're gonna have those that gravitate to the camera, that gravitate to the public, that have that je ne sais quoi, that charisma. You know what I'm saying? Them motherfuckers is gonna boom. But what are you going to do behind the camera? Because obviously the cameraman don't exist. The robots that came around and took your jobs. They telling me a computer can do my job better than I can damn do. Yeah, that's what the fuck they telling you. So now, what do? Well, you fucking around and make shorts. You put the video in the AI and make shorts for you, and you post them shits for your goddamn your leader. You know what I'm saying? Because that motherfucker's leading the way. So what else do? You goddamn call around opportunities. Hey man, have you ever got into skydiving? Let's put you in this in-room skydiving so we can make some content. You come up with ideas to put your leader in so that you can make more content so y'all can make more money. You have to use your brain, because obviously you are attached to somebody who is now making money. So like OnlyFans bitch, right? OnlyFans bitch, she making money, but she ain't got no guidance though, right? Now, I'm gonna go out and say it. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it. I ain't never seen no black woman make no millions from OnlyFans. Now, are we saying that the demand for black women on OnlyFans is low? Maybe, could be, possibly, yes. But now, are we saying that black woman couldn't make $1 million off of OnlyFans like her counterparts? Because if one bitch, like, what is it, Bad Bunny or whatever the fuck the name is, if she can make 35 million, then obviously it's not a lot of black men paying for OnlyFans. And I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying it could be a couple niggas paying, right? It could be a couple niggas paying, right? Let's just say out of 100,000. 100,000 is a small number in comparison, right? Let's go even smaller, 10,000. 10,000 men. A lot of white men simp. Yeah, they simp hard. It's a culture of simping. But it's also an opportunity for more resources in that community so that they can simp more and still have a bag to, invest in and do whatever the fuck else they want to. You know what I mean? Start businesses, all type of shit. So, with this is the point I'm making here. Without guidance, you're not going to be effective. Now, poor planning, you feel me, leads to that poor execution. It leads to poor results. If you have an opportunity, like, all right, you out here selling that virtual pussy, right? And you say, I don't need no pimp. All right, you out here selling virtual pussy. You might not need no pimp. The pimp might turn into a manager, right? But if you don't want to listen to your manager say, all right, we need to do these pictures. We need to go ahead and have you integrate into some different things as far as using your money that you get here to invest over here to have longevity. You know what I mean? Not necessarily to recreate. You know what I'm saying? To attract. We need to have you work with other people. We need to have you networking. We need to have different content on the ready. We need to have you post, on all platforms regularly, routinely, or I'll post it for you. But see, these bitches say, well, a nigga giving me goddamn $20 a month, and then I charge him $100 to watch me play with it. Why I need a manager? And then all of a sudden that shit fizzled down because even though they don't get the lump sum, they don't get the crazy rush, which I think has died down for all OnlyFans. But they don't get that crazy push to buy. They don't have a plan, or they don't have any good management to position them in a way that they could stay relevant, stay engaging, and then attract new eyes and get into new avenues. Because Fresh and Fit had a lot of OnlyFans bitches on there. Most of them were white, right? If you talk about all of these dating and reality couches, people talk about, you know, what do you want to talk about when you talk about the relationship dynamic? Put yourself in the seat to be seen, bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm behind the camera. I'm telling you, you need to be seen, bitch. You know? You need to go ahead and put on this costume and do some cosplay because you need to be seen, bitch. Like you need to be able to dive into all of the male demographic viewerships, right? So, all right, you need to get the nerds. You need to get the jocks too, right? So you need to have you a little skimpity dimpity Philadelphia Eagles jersey on. You know what I mean? You need to have you a little jersey from Milwaukee or what is it? The Hornets, right? So you need to, or even if somebody was, you know, on some scientific shit, you know, some robotic shit, you need to act like you a doll. You know what I'm saying? Placate to all of the fantasies of a man. But see, you just want to, and black women are especially bad about this, saying, well, I mean, if they want me, they're going to come get me. If they don't, whatever. But you are a business owner, right? Your property, you know, you're not going to really try and try to raise the bar and try to get that. Nah, bitch ain't trying to get nothing. So that's the deal. Like, you got to be behind the camera and say, hey, I know you rubbing that pussy out every other day, but let me show you how to make more money, make more talking points, make more focal points, you know? Because right now, you just shaking ass. Have you showed your feet yet? You know what I mean? Like, and when you're talking about your friend just starting to make YouTubes, hey, you got a manager yet? You want me to go ahead and set some shit up for you? You want to do a food review? You want to do IRL, in real life type shit, or not? You also have your athlete. Now, the athlete is the biggest machine there is, right? When you talk about an athlete, you're talking about the trainer, The agent, the manager, the assistant, the chef, the stylist, right? So you have all of these different people that you could be. Now, also because you are part of it, they might want to venture into something like having a restaurant. Can you cook, nigga? Can you cook? You know what I'm saying? Can you advertise for the restaurant? Can you, um, what if they want to have a clothing line? You know, they didn't sign with Nike, but they might be able to come up with some kind of notoriety, some kind of fame and fortune if you're able to push and present something lucrative to them. Maybe, but people gonna have their hands out left and right. So you got to be able to showcase your talent behind the camera, because they're gonna be front and center stage, and say, all right, man, this is an opportunity I see as far as investments, right? No, restaurants don't make that much money, and they mostly fail in the first few years, but they don't have your recognition. You know what I mean? Like, you are the city's darling, so obviously they're gonna want to come and check it out. All we gotta do is do some regular degular shit that everybody know, and then we can add some extras. We can sprinkle some goddamn breadcrumbs on top. You know, put some little flair with it, and there you go. So being in front of the camera is challenging, right? Because you don't know how long you're gonna have that fame. You don't know how long you're gonna have that recognition. You don't know how long your 15 seconds is. So then, if you had a team behind you to propel you to act in your best interest, you would be able to, and not just in your best interest, but for the best interest of everybody. Because you got to think about your accountant. You making this money now? Look how many people, Wesley Snipes, Chris Tucker, just to name a few, have all said, man, these taxes and shit, I gave my tax man my accountant, and that motherfucker fucked me. But where were your people to, you know what I mean? Where were your people at to say, hey, let me look over the books. Let me double check this for you. Being behind the camera, they already gonna make the money. See, they're already an accountant. They're already a CPA. Now, is one of your boys gonna go be a CPA? Who knows? One of your girls, are you gonna send her to college so she can argue for you? Who knows? But that's the type of shit that you need behind the camera, though, because you're in front of the camera. You know what I'm saying? You might be on location somewhere shooting a movie. You want to come home and everything be good. You box office baby. You feel me? You out here getting it. But when the getting got, what you left with? Damn, I made $6 million last year. Uncle Sam took 3. My expenses, I don't know what happened, but I'm broke. So didn't nobody tell you that you was getting broke? Everybody was riding that wave. Everybody was taking that money. You ain't have no real one. Like, hey, bruh, I ain't never trying to be broke. Watch my back. You got me, I got you. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how long this shit gonna last, but watch my back, bro. You gotta look out for me. I don't need you in the club. I need you in the goddamn office. I need you to be talking that talk to these folks behind the scenes to figure out what the fuck they doing. I need you in a suit. I don't need you Playboy Cardi. You feel me? I need you tight, my nigga. Getting in there, listening, ear hustling, figuring out what the fuck they do when they get on. How are they spending their coins? Because I am not trying to be broke, nigga. We gonna enjoy it for a little bit. Because you know a nigga ain't never had shit. But I'm not trying to be broke. When they talk about the NBA, you know how many niggas go broke? 80% of them niggas went broke. Man, that's crazy. Everybody was just riding the wave until they hit the shore. And then they got off. So, oh shit. Oh, ain't no more water, nigga. We got the water. I guess I'll go home. MC Hammer took all these people around the world dancing, romancing. What happened? Shit dried up. Now, I believe MC Hammer definitely got crooked by some accountants because wasn't nobody looking at them books. So they might not ever come out and say, yeah, he was paying his entourage. True enough, he was paying his entourage. But who was looking at them books? Because you can just say, oh, he was paying his entourage. You can just say that and it sounds good. It sounds believable. You got 50 people you paying 50,000 a year to. Okay. 50 times 50. Okay. That's a good amount. And it is. But how much am I making? Oh, well, you made 600 million. I made 600 million. Had to get 3 of it up to the government. Okay. Why am I still broke, though? You know, you bought that house, that MC Hammer house. Okay, I bought the house. That's cool. What else? Well, I mean, I can show you the books, but do we got time for that? So we just gonna go ahead and keep it pushing like we keep it pushing. But a lot of the times there is no check and balance when somebody is in the limelight because they're always on go. If you're not somebody behind them that can say, all right, well, my man on go right now. Let me see what the books look like. Okay. Let me go ahead and read a Accounting for Dummies book. You about to get on, nigga. You about to be set. You going to the league. Let me read an Accounting for Dummies book. Let me read an Investment for Dummies book. Can I read? Nigga, can you read? Right? So, all you need to do is just read a little bit. If you can't, they got audio books. If you can't, they got videos. Let me put my time into making sure I can be useful to the money. Because I'm not an earner, but I can be a protector of the money. I can be useful to the money. And that's what I'm talking about. How can I be useful to the money? Because I'm not bringing in the money. I'm not the agent, but I could be the agent. First, I need to fuck around and find out what they do, who they talk to, what connections can I make. You know what I'm saying? Like, what offers are being given. You somebody like D Rose, Dwayne Wade, uh, LeBron James, they knocking on your door. All you gotta do is pick up the phone. Fuck you need an agent for? Getting 10%. Man, your nigga can answer the phone, give that nigga 5% and tell him to write it down on a schedule, on a calendar. Yeah, man. I set this up for you. This is I got your calendar on all your games right here. You got a 2-day hold. I thought we can go ahead and squeeze in a commercial right here. Okay, cool. Got it on the books already. They offering this right here. Brought him up to this right here. Said that he's gonna be occupied unless somebody else's, and this is one of those non-compete contracts, so we can't do nothing with their competition. So they're gonna have to pay us a little extra for that. Cool. But if you're not that influential, if the people aren't beating down your door, you might need to take a back seat and really listen in those meetings, look in those meetings, be sharp about what's going on so that you can take advantage when your time come up, because everybody getting paid off the person in front of the camera, but they also doing something for the person in front of the camera. You don't want to be somebody who getting money from the person in front of the camera and not doing nothing for the person in front of the camera. So when the time comes to shed dead weight because money drying up, you're going to be the first one they cut. Bruh, I appreciate you being here with me. And you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I could have did this without you, but now, what I'm saying, I got my family. And right now, I'm going to have you move out. And just, what I'm saying, spend time with my family. You can come visit every now and again, but I really need to, build this family shit up. So now, the only money you got is the money that they was giving you. And you thought it was gonna last forever. Make it last forever, forever, forever. Ooh, don't let our love in. But shit's dry up. Everything got an end date. You gotta go ahead and get to a point where you're needed, not where you're tolerated. That's how you be beneficial to the person in front of the camera, because everybody can't make it in front of the camera. So how can you be useful? And that's what I gotta say. That's what I'm talking about. Like, comment, subscribe. How can you be useful to those in front of the camera? You feel me? Y'all have a good one. We out. Peace.